what y'all, it's C-Mac and I am back for another video. I am in a different space today, doing something a little bit different, far away from shoes. I am actually going to be trying to make a epoxy wood cutout table or sign. Haven't thought about it yet, but either way it's going in the same direction. I actually have a piece of plywood sitting actually under you guys where the camera is sitting at. We're gonna go ahead and try to cut it out. This is the first time I've ever done something like this, so I'm a little bit nervous, but if I mess up, I mess up. It's a learning experience always, so let's just get straight into it. So I just got this piece of wood that I am going to draw my image on. Once I have it drawn out, I am going to take a jigsaw that I got from Walmart, tool from Walmart. I don't know how good it is, but we're gonna see if it works. If it worked, that's great. Once I got my image that I want to make, I pull out my projector and trace it onto the wood, and then I start cutting it using that jigsaw. But I noticed that this wood I got is very, very thick, so I went to the store and got a thinner piece. And then I did the whole process over, tracing it on that plywood, and then cutting it out, which it was cutting way smoother. I also did start to notice that with this wood, it was starting to chip a lot on the edges. So I'm just keeping that in mind for my next piece of work that I do. I found it easier for myself not to trace those lines that I have, instead of just kind of getting off most of that wood and then going back in to detail the lines. It way smoother that way. Once I got my image cut out, I then took it inside and started sanding it down. Again, I had never even used a sander, electric sander in this type of thing before. So all of this is very, very, very new to me, and it was such a learning process. And if you know me, you know that I like learning new things. If there's anything that you want to see me do, please leave it down in the comment section, and so I can give it a try. And then before I started painting it, I threw some primer on it. I learned quickly that I got some gray primer. I did not know that there was different color primers, but again, video full of learning. I started painting it with some acrylic wood paint in black first, kind of going over all the edges that I wanted black. Didn't want to leave the other side of the sign or the table that wood color, so I did go ahead and go in with a black on the back side as well. It made it look a lot cleaner, a lot nicer. To finish the painting, I did go in with some blue on the bape face, and I tried my best to create some nice crisp lines. This is what it's looking like before the epoxy. The paint is all done, all dry, and I think it turned out really, really nice. So I'm super, super excited for what it's gonna look like with the epoxy. I've been saying all video, first time for everything. So my first time using epoxy, and right away I can tell you that I used the wrong cup. I should have used a clean cup to mix the epoxy. But I did do a 1:1 ratio of the epoxy, A and B. I mixed that up. I read you can't mix too slow, but you can't mix too fast or too long. So it's definitely a learning process. But once I got that all mixed up, then I started pouring it all over the wood. Again, not sure if I'm supposed to use my hand, but I found it was easier to use my hand to spread the epoxy through the whole project. So that is what I did. I also read that you can use a heat gun to remove some of the bubbles. So I did try using my heat gun to remove some of them. It did work for some of them, but then it started caving in some of the other parts. All right, y'all. You can already see that it's making like these little fucking things. Pissed off. I seen it. It's because I used this that was already I had already used. It's not like a sterile thing, but an easy fix. They said I can just sand it down when it's fully dry, or I can try adding a second coat after 4 hours. But this is what it's looking like so far. I'm not gonna touch it. I'm not gonna do too much to it. Has to sit for 4 days for it to be fully cured. First epoxy project. Very looks very good to me so far. So I'll keep you guys updated. All right, y'all. It's been about 5 hours and I just poured the second epoxy layer. Looks like it's smoothing out a little bit. So cool. It's actually been a couple of days since I last showed you guys. This is crazy. First things that I noticed right away, I do have like little dust specks in here. You guys can kind of see them. That I think got into the epoxy when I was mixing it in that cup. I guess I should have used a brand new cup. Another thing I noticed is these drips, little drip things on the back. I want to actually try to see if I can sand those down. But I noticed that I need to figure out something to do with that. But overall, for my first epoxy projects, first epoxy anything, even wood cutouts using the jigsaw, my first time ever using, I think it turned out pretty good. Also in here, you can kind of see the line, my tracing line with the marker that I use is actually still there. So I should have put more paint coats on there. But like I said, really happy the way it turned out for my first time ever using it. But what I did, or what I'm gonna do now, is I actually ordered these table legs off of Amazon and they just came in, which is so exciting. Table legs I am going to put on the back of the board, and we're gonna see and make a table. So I was thinking of placing just kind of one on this side. Hey y'all, this is what it's looking like with the legs on it. It's a little scratched up, but it's all good for my first one. I think it came out really good. Nail, I screwed through, fixed it. Oh well, it's a learning process. Y'all can see I actually changed my outfit and I actually took some pictures with the table because I am releasing these sweatshirts. I have sweatshirts and t-shirts coming out soon. I'll pop up a picture right here on the screen. It's inspired by the Fear of Being Average. I mean, it talks for itself. If you're interested in buying one, make sure to stay tuned for the drop date. Anyways, let me know how you think I did on the epoxy table. Again, first time for everything. I've learned some things that I'm gonna do different next time. Let me know what you guys want to see, if you guys are into the custom tables or wall hangings. As always, make sure to drop that like, comment down below, subscribe, make sure to share, and as always, stay positive, and you know I'll be back for more videos. Bye.
Get out your feelings and get it yourself. Might got the same shoes, but you ain't gonna step. That shit that you just put out, you could've kept.